Okay, let's learn how to use one of these graphing calculators. So first thing I wanted to show you is that I have a guide to linear regression on the assignment center. So before we actually learn how to do linear regression and use these important keys like stat, we'll use enter, we'll use y equals, we'll use zoom, anything in this top row, we'll use a lot, how to set the window, how to calc, things like that. And then I have guide of what to do. So this is on the assignment center under midterm and final practice, but realize there's a lot of keys on here that you're not going to be using. Like you've heard of SOHCAHTOA, sine, cosine, tangent. We're not going to be using this in algebra, but we'll be using it a bunch in geometry. So I figured let's do some like practice normal math problems, learning how to graph on a graphing calculator before we do some linear regression. So let's say we want to graph a function. Okay. So graphing a function would be entering, if we already have the equation, we press y equals, and we'll see, oh, here we had different graphs. So it's already set to y equals, so we don't have to change it to slope intercept form to isolate y. We have 3/4 x. So if I wanted to do 3, this is the x button. Do you see how it's like x, t, theta, n? So I do this, great. I want to go back, wait, I want to make it 3/4. There's, on these two TI-83s, there's not like a fraction button, but on these TI-84s, oop, I wonder if you can see this, the brightness. I'll have to, oh, yeah, they have a fraction button, so I could do 3/4. Can you see that I can make that into like 3/4 x? But we don't have that option in the TI-83 pluses. So let me show you what you do. I would just do a parentheses. So I could probably insert a parentheses here. And then this is, oh, mine's a little worn off, but these are the parentheses button. So I want the slope to be 3/4 of x and then plus 1. If I didn't have that parentheses there, it would look funky. So actually I'll 3/4 x plus 1. Okay, maybe I can like turn this one off. If I can press equals. Yeah, so that won't show up in my graph. Okay, now if I just press graph, that's 3/4 x plus 1. Let's say I want to adjust my window. Right now my window is set to standard. You see how it's the minimum x value is -10, the maximum x value is 10, the scale is what x is counted by is like ones, and same thing for y. Don't worry about the resolution thing of like that, we don't adjust the resolution. Now, if I wanted to zoom in more, let's say I want to make this between, I'm going to delete. So it's negative, let's go -5 to 5, -5, not 50. So I press that delete button to 5. Now I graph it. Now you can see a lot more what that value is. Okay. Mm, yeah, it's a little finicky when you're going like on the arrows. So another thing we could check the values is go to this, instead of the graph, we could press table. Do you see how above all these numbers, there's those yellow words? That's the second feature of the button. So if I want to get a table, I would press second and then table. And you can see it goes through the values. When x is 0, y is 1. When x is 4, y is 4. Remember, because if 3/4 of 4 is 3 plus 1, so I see all this stuff here. What if I want to know when x is 67? I'm not going to press down a million times. I can actually set the table. So check this out. I can press second set. Let's say I want to start at 60. And now when I go to my table, it jumps me way up. So I can see 67 is 51.25. I'm going to set my table back to 0. So then second table, I don't have to press these arrows a zillion times. Okay, so that's how you graph. Let's take a look at what this other one, if I didn't have those parentheses though. So now if I do this graph, it still recognizes it? Okay, risky. I thought that this would be 3 divided by 4x. Okay, hold on. So I guess you're not punished for it. What if it's like 3 divided by parentheses 4x? I bet you that looks different. Let me turn off the second one by pressing enter on it. It's not highlighted. Yeah, you can see that that's what I thought divided by 4x would look like. Okay, so I'm going to just clear this by pressing clear. It's gone. Okay, we have this in my second table. Great. Oh, and let me press that equal sign to do this. Great. So we have this. And, I want to change my window back to normal. So instead of having to type them all, I can press zoom. And then there's different options. We could be zooming in, zoom out. Yeah, let's see what zoom out does. If I press it, now it just zoomed out my window to be 2020. But I like to go to the standard window, so I could go down to press to the 6th option, or I can just press the number of the option. So I want to go to standard window. I'm going to press 6. We see the window is back at negative 1010. Great. Okay. So that's that one. Let's try another. Okay, yeah. Let's try a negative one. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a common mistake. If you do it like this, negative 3 divided by 2x plus 6, I'm about to get an error, okay? Maybe you saw the buttons I pressed. If you go back and replay, look, it's going to say error syntax. I want to go to the error, and it brings me right to the mistake. It's right here. Do you see what symbol that says? You think that says negative 3/2, but you're wrong. That actually says minus. There's actually a negative key here. So we want to make sure we press this little negative, but negative instead of subtraction. That is the number one mistake kids will make when they get a syntax error, is that they pressed minus instead of the negative key. Okay, so we got rid of that. Great, we have this graph. We can enter it. Let's say the graph was plus 60. Okay, now I graph it, and you're going to be thinking, oh, nothing's there. Do you know what the problem is? My window doesn't go up to 60. So if I want to change my X max to be 60, boom, now I'm seeing it. And like I got the Y intercept, but I don't have the X intercept. So let's adjust the window one more time. Let's see if 60 is enough to go over on the X. Yep, that looks pretty good. I probably could have set it to be like 50. And then something else that I think aesthetically looks bad is like, you see how I can't even see the scale? Because right now it's like all the buttons, it's going by ones. So there's 60 little marks in there, or it's trying to do that. So let's have it go by like fives, maybe on both scales. See if that looks better. Yeah, I think that looks nice. And what is the 0? I want to know, hey, what is the x-axis? What's the root? So what's the x-intercept? I can actually calculate that with the calculator. So that's the calc button. It's slang actually for calculate. So press second, calc, and I'm going to say, hey, I could do a value like, oh, what is x when, oh, sorry, when x is 8, what's the value? And it tells me. If I wanted to get a value of like 8.6, it would tell me that value. But if I put a value of, let's see, would it let me do a value of 40? Or actually, let's change it, 41. Yeah, we got the value. Now watch, I'm going to get another error value. Let's go to if it's x is 60. Invalid. I wonder why. Let's go to that error because you can't go to 60 here when your window only goes to 50. So if I want to get what 60 is, I got to just my window to maybe include that number. So let's go up to 70. Now, when I try and calc the value and I press 60, I'm going to have no error. Oh, it's negative 30. Okay, but back the final thing, I want to know what the 0 is going to be. So that's second calc. I'm going to go to 0. Okay, now it's going to say like, hey, can you give me a little guesstimate here? Where's my arrow right now? Okay. Oh yeah. So it's like, give me the left of 0. So I put it over here, like so it's not quite at 0. I press enter. Go to the right of 0. So I go right a little bit. Go close to it. Okay, this is close enough. Press enter. And then we'll tell me, boom, the 0 is 40. Or 40 is the 0, which seems like something we could have easily calculated. But when we get to like not so friendly calculations, it is a quick way to do it. Okay, so I think that's a good intro. We've learned how to graph things with y equals. We've learned how to adjust our window. If we want to set it back to normal, we can go to zoom standard. And then finally, we learned how to go to calculate or to graph. So I'm going to clear this. I'm going to go to second mode, and now I'm back to where my normal calculator feature is. So things like this, I can calculate. I'm going to turn it off for now. I hope you enjoyed learning some basics of how to use a graphing calculator. Next up, we're going to go through some regression.